Well, we're all out here trying to make America healthy again. RFK Jr. has come under fire from mainstream media for measles deaths, right? They're reporting the measles outbreaks that are popping up nationwide. So this led us to the question on X to say, I wanted to see if you actually believe these reports or if you think that they're being exaggerated. 5% said, yes, I believe the reports. Apparently, I don't know if they watch a show or not, or if they just voted on the poll. But 82% of you said, no, they are exaggerated. 12% said that they need more info. Now, the Hill out there, they're melting down over RFK Jr., right? They're saying, oh, the measles outbreaks, it's hit 20 states. Texas, right where we are, apparently has about 500 cases. It's just interesting to see, but their headline there on the Hill, how many measles deaths will it take for RFK Jr. to step down? You can see what they're trying to do already.
I mean, it really is crazy. I mean, this is the era of Maha. This is ridiculous. And there is a case to be made about the cause of the rise in measles that I won't say on air lest we be ripped off of the air on YouTube, that it comes from the Maha crowd that actually is quite convincing. There's some real problems with certain manufacturers out there. But let's just leave it at that.
I would say certain manufacturers and the Tom Homan crowd might have something to do with it as well, right? Like everybody's just going through and adding those few things together. But it is interesting, right? Just knowing the way that they went and attacked. They tried to get Pete Hegseth involved with the Signal chat thing, and it wasn't even him that was a part of it. And now they're like, oh, RFK Jr., we need to blame him for everything that's going on with the measles. And the guy just got there.
Don't you feel like it's too little too early? I mean, it feels like this is not going to work. This is not going to work.
No, but something that is going to work is you, Tucker Carlson, and Donald Trump all together having similar thoughts.
Well, I mean, I've been thinking a lot about the tariffs issue and how people react to it and why it became such a big explosion this week. And it revealed something that we haven't seen for a while. It revealed some really actually disgusting and evil things going on in this country and how people think about their fellow countrymen. And what I mean by that is this. Look, my entire life, I have heard very important people tell regular Americans during COVID, 2008 crash, now over and over again, that we all have to suffer for the sake of the longer term common good of the country. And it's, you just got to suck it up. It's going to be painful, but we're going to get through it. I've heard this my entire life. And I noticed that there's one group of people that hasn't been talking that way this week. They haven't been talking that way about the tariffs and the pain it might cause them. So if you're struggling to understand right now why so many of your fellow Americans aren't panicking, why they aren't panicking, this is why. This is why. In 2019, Tucker Carlson gave an incredible monologue, never forget it, in January of that year that had everyone talking. Let's listen to just a little taste of this.
Donald Trump rode a surge of popular discontent all the way to the White House. Does he understand the political revolution that he harnessed? Can he reverse the economic and cultural trends that are destroying America? Those are open questions. But they're less relevant than we think. At some point, Donald Trump will be gone. The rest of us will be gone too. The country will remain. What kind of country will it be then? How do we want our grandchildren to live? Those are the only questions that matter. The answer to them used to be obvious. The overriding goal for America is more prosperity, meaning cheaper consumer goods. But is that still true? Does anyone still believe that cheaper iPhones or more Amazon deliveries of plastic garbage from China are going to make us happy? They haven't so far. A lot of Americans are drowning in stuff, and yet drug addiction and suicide are depopulating large parts of the country. Anyone who thinks the health of a nation can be summed up in GDP is an idiot. The goal for America is both simpler and more elusive than mere prosperity. It's happiness. There are a lot of ingredients in being happy. Dignity, purpose, self-control, independence, above all, deep relationships with other people. Those are the things that you want for your children. They're what our leaders should want for us and would want if they cared. But our leaders don't care. We are ruled by mercenaries who feel no long-term obligation to the people they rule.
Notice that last bit is they don't care. They feel no obligation. That triggered a lot of reaction at the time that I will never forget. National Review attacked a bunch of conservatives, a bunch of neoconservatives attacked Tucker viciously for this populist monologue. They did. They said, and I'll never forget seeing them say this, that it didn't matter if leaders cared or not for their citizens. Why would they say such a thing? Why would they say that? At the time, I argued that Tucker was right. I wrote an article in 2019 saying Tucker was right, and that actually led to me meeting Tucker Carlson for the first time, which was incredible. But he had said something that no one else had said, and he triggered a response that I saw nowhere else on the right. And it was conservatives saying it doesn't matter if people care. Let me tell you why I care. I care because I was born in Broome County, New York. Broome County is the most impoverished county in New York State. And one day while I was there not too long ago in Endicott, New York, in Broome County, I took these photos on a Sunday. This is the main street in Endicott, New York, the main drag. That's a closed public school. Those signs say, stay out, go away. That used to be a department store. I was born there. I went back there to work several times. I still have family there. That right there is the back of the office complex that I was working at. That's not a third world country. That's a place that has been devastated over the decades by IBM leaving, Endicott Johnson, the shoe company, leaving. I was born in nearby Johnson City. And I worked at a shampoo factory. I'll never forget this in the 2000s. Many of you have had these experiences. I worked in the late 90s, early 2000s one summer at a shampoo factory, and I was happy to be leaving because I was only there for 3 months, and it was pretty hellish, let me tell you, Jill. And I'm on top of a 2,000-ton tank, and I wrap it like this and go, you know what? Thankfully, 2 weeks and I'm out of here. And the guy next to me wraps the tank and looks at me and says, you know what? 15 years, and I get my pension. 3 years later, that place was closed down and all those people lost their jobs. That's why people are angry, because no one came to help them during that entire time, right? The only thing that Endicott got, the only thing that Broome County got from the wealthy people who care along the coast was buses full of impoverished criminals from New York City, and even recently, immigrants, wandering cornfields in upstate New York. No one cared. And that's why this week, none of us care about any of the pain that comes out of the tariffs. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter. The tariffs may work, they may not, but people who have been in this situation for so long, been lied to for so long, and been told it doesn't matter, that no one cares about them for so long, are ready for something new.
When you talk about suffering for the good of the country, it's usually only one group that has to suffer. And let's go back to the Hunger Games. It's not the elites in Washington, D.C., but it's actually those people out in District 11, 12, 13. It's the everyday people that have to suffer. The elites now in Washington, D.C., the entire way through. Oh, they wouldn't feel the pain while these things were happening in the old days. Now they're trying to they're attempting to level the playing field for everyday Americans.
And let me say this, it's not about wealth. It's not a class war in the sense that, people from District 12 or from Broome County hate you because you have money, or I or anyone else hates anyone who has money. Being successful is great. We're all about the American dream. But in America, you should have the right to be successful and to let your drive lead to success, but not at the expense of your fellow Americans. You should become wealthy and successful by helping them, not hurting them.
Yeah, and the cheap Chinese stuff, that is a theme that keeps coming up over and over and over again this week is in particular, because how much importance are you going to put on the cheap things that we get from China versus making things in America great?
You know where I stand.
It's a very powerful way to end this show.